A local woman's career has taken her to new heights and from sea to shining sea. She's a trailblazer in the aviation industry and uses her high-flying experiences to help others in a similar position. We are so happy to have Reyné O'Shaughnessy, otherwise known as Captain O, here with us today, and it is so nice to meet you.
Likewise, and thank you for having me.
I'm just so interested in everything you've done. You've had an amazing career and life up to this point, so why did you decide to pursue a career in aviation?
Well, you know, Heather, I was initially drawn to aviation through an irresistible curiosity. In fact, 47 years ago, I find myself as a summer typist for a small regional airline. And a few of your audience may know or remember Allegheny Airlines that morphed into US Air. So as I'm enjoying my job as a summer typist, I realized that I'm falling in love. Now I know what you're thinking, but it's not that kind of love. I'm falling in love with the airline industry. So before I know it, I moved from typist to flight attendant. And I am enjoying every smile, every poured coffee, every luggage in the overhead rack. We called them racks then, it wasn't compartments. But yet I knew that I was meant for more. So beyond all the odds, within 6 years, I take my seat on a Boeing 747 for the very first time.
Wow.
And so it was the allure of being part of something that is as transformative as aviation that really captivated me, where I have literally the world under my wings. And that was an irresistible calling that I could not resist.
And we have some pictures here of you. What do you think that you learned about yourself as a pilot, spending time in the cockpit?
Yeah, that's a really good question. You know, throughout my remarkable 35 year in the cockpit, one of the lessons that I learned was the strength of vulnerability. So as I'm soaring through the sky at 350, 370, I came to understand that being a pilot isn't all about mastery of skill. It's about acknowledging your vulnerabilities and that you are human and navigating around these vulnerabilities as a leader.
Yeah. And I know that it wasn't recorded, which is unfortunate, but you were the first female pilot to fly a B-747, is that right?
A Boeing 747, yes, back in 1987.
That is incredible.
I was one of the females that were qualified, very few of us, on the 747. And back in the day, we didn't have the internet, so that portion of my life was not recorded.
And those were massive planes.
Yes, the BOW, the basic operating weight, is, I flew the 747, I think 200, 300, it was 820,000 pounds, and that is without fuel.
Wow. So I want to talk about your book here, because you brought a copy of this, and you really wanted to dive into mental health, what you have learned being in the cockpit, and how that has impacted you and your life.
Yeah, well, you know, my book is a product of experience and insights that dives into an area that is mostly overlooked by the airline industry, and that is the pilot well-being, you know, the pilot's well-being and aviation professionals. The book, this is your captain speaking, What You Should Know About Your Mental Health, is an exploration of how a holistic approach to aviation, and that is intertwines with the pilot's welfare as well as strategic acumen that actually can lead a path to safer flights, safer performance, and overall holistic excellence.
I think we probably take it for granted when we hop on a plane how everybody else is doing, the people who are getting us where we need to go.
Yes.
And I have to imagine you're spending so much time away from your own family and dealing with the stress of that, and maybe even a little bit of loneliness that can all impact you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It is, the book is about mental health. It's not about mental illness. We all have mental health.
We do.
Me, you, and everyone. And what I want to highlight is being a pilot or any high impact job, it has its hidden costs, physically and mentally.
That's great. And we should mention you're local, so we're so lucky to have this right here in our neighborhood.
I am born and raised here in Pittsburgh and very proud to continue to be part of the community.
Captain O, thanks so much for coming on today.
Thank you for having me.
Very insightful and interesting. René's book, This Is Your Captain Speaking, is available on Amazon. We're going to have a link for it on our website, kdka.com/talkpittsburgh. And coming up next, advocates are pushing for more time off after a loss. Our experts are tackling how companies should handle bereavement as we learn about the grieving process.